गिरिवरधारी आया। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना। जमुना तीरा वनचारिया। जमुना तीरा वनचारिया। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जाना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना। जमुना तीरा वनचारिया। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद। Jayam Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajagacarya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimati Divine Grace AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajagacarya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimati Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायामुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपः कुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः Hare Krishna. This morning we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled The Creation of Fourth Order, Chapter 29, entitled Talks Between Narada and King Prachini Varishad. This is text 69. Satvaika Nishte Manasi Bhagavad Parshva Vartmani Vartini Tamas Chandramsa Ivedam Uparajya Avabhasate Satvaikanishte Manasi Satvaikanishte Manasi Bhagavat Parshvavartini Bhagavat Parshvavartini Tamaschandramsi Vedam Tamaschandram Asivedam Uparajyavabhasate Uparajyavabhasate Satvaikanishte Manasi Bhagavat Parshvavartini Tamaschandramsi Vedam Uparajyavabhasate Satvaikanishte Manasi Bhagavat Parshvavartini Tamaschandramsi Vedam Uparajyavabhasate. Please recite. Bhagavat Parshvavartmani Tamaschandramsi Vedam Uparajyavabhasate Satvaikanishte Manasi Bhagavat Parshvavartmani Tamaschandramsi Vedam Uparajyavabhasate Satvaikanishte Manasi Bhagavat Parshvavartini तमश्चन्द्रांसि वेदम् उपरज्यावभाषते. Anybody from Vaishnavis? सात्वैकनिष्ठे मनसि भगवत्पार्श्ववर्तिनि तमश्चन्द्रामसि वेदम् उपरज्यावभाषते. We'll see what word meaning. Sattvaikanishthe, in full Krishna consciousness. Manasi, in a mind. Bhagavat, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parshvavartini, being constantly associated. Tamaha, the dark planet. Chandramasi, in the moon. Iva, like. Idam, this cosmic manifestation. Uparajya, being connected. Avabhasate, being manifest, becomes manifest. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Krishna consciousness means constantly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. Such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest exactly like the dark planet known as Rahu, which is observed in the presence of the full moon. So please recite the translation in response. Krishna consciousness means constantly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In such a mental state, the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. Such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest exactly like the dark planet known as Rahu, which is observed in the presence of the full moon. Purport. It has been explained in the previous verse that all desires on the mental platform become visible one after another. Sometimes, however, by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the whole stockpile can be observed, can be visible all at one time. In Brahma Samhita, it is said, Karmani nirdahati kintuja bhakti bhajam. When a person is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, his stockpile of material desires is minimized. Indeed, the desires no longer fructify in the form of gross bodies. Instead, the stockpile of the desire becomes visible on the mental platform by the grace of Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this connection, the darkness occurring before the full moon, the lunar eclipse, can be explained as being another planet known as Rahu. According to the Vedic astronomy, the Rahu planet, which is not visible, is accepted. Sometimes the Rahu planet is visible in the presence of full moonlight. It then appears that this Rahu planet exists somewhere near the orbit of the moon. The failure of modern moon excursionists may be due to the Rahu planet. In the other word, those who are supposed to be going to the moon may actually be going to this invisible planet Rahu. Actually, they are not going to the moon but to the planet Rahu, and after reaching this planet, they come back. Apart from this discussion, the point is that a living entity has immense and unlimited desires for material enjoyment, and he has to transmigrate from one gross body to another until these desires are exhausted. No living entity is free from the cycle of birth and death unless he takes to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated, Satvaika Nishthe, that when one is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, in one stroke he is freed of past and future mental desires. Then, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, everything becomes simultaneously manifest within the mind. In this regard, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur cites the example of Mother Yashoda, seeing the whole cosmic manifestation within the mouth of the Lord Krishna. By the grace of the Lord, Mother Yashoda saw all the universes and the planets within the mouth of Krishna. Similarly, by the grace of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, a Krishna conscious person can see all these dormant desires at one time and finish all his future transmigrations. This facility is especially given to the devotees to make his path clear for returning home back to Godhead. Why we see things not experienced in this life is explained herein. That which we see is the future expression of a gross body or is already stocked in our mental stockpile. Because a Krishna conscious person does not have to accept a future gross body, his recorded desires are fulfilled in a dream. We therefore sometimes find things in a dream never experienced in our present life. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की जय श्री श्री गौरनिताय चंद्र भगवान की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई सीक ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ ऑल द assembled devotees in particular his grace Anandmay Prabhu so that we are discussing from this Srimad Bhagavatam and the discussion can be something very useful in our day to day life. So here the whole context is of Narad Muni trying to preach Prachini Barishat. And Prachini Barishat is an example of a person who got stuck in fruitive activities. And somebody who got stuck in fruitive activities, to remove that thorn of fruitive actives and fruitive activities results from somebody's mind, it is a very difficult task. It is not so easy. Especially if a person is engaged in fruitive activities as per Vedic instructions. Such person will keep on arguing that it is Vedic instructions, why can I not do it? What is the problem in doing it? Hundreds of mental concoctions he will have. So for him to accept Krishna consciousness quickly will not be possible. Somebody who is engaged in fruitive activities, who is not in the Vedic cycle, for him sometimes accepting Krishna consciousness will be little easier. Just like people in the West, when Prabhupada went and presented Krishna consciousness, accepted Krishna consciousness in a fraction of moment. There are many experiences where Prabhupada disciples came and just met Prabhupada. In one day they decided, okay, we are with Krishna consciousness movement. That's it. Like that. But generally Indians are the people who do sense gratification based on Vedic instructions, and it takes lot of time for them to explain that the sense gratification is of no use. So Narad Muni is also taking out time and explaining to Prachini Barishat. He is not understanding. Then Narad Muni gives example and the story of Puranjan. Then somewhere he is now trying to understand. Now he is asking about how the fruitive activities actually result. So generally when we do some karma, which is within the purview of these three modes of material nature, the reaction of that, we generally think that, the reaction comes very late. Like for example, somebody does some karma, some good karma for example. The result of that good karma comes after a very long time for him in a manifest form. But the karma immediately gets recorded in subtle energy. And that karma is with him. It is not just fructified. Just like uh, in the explanations of karma and reaction of karma, there is description of bija form, kuta form, and various forms. So anybody does any sin, the reaction of the sinful activity he immediately gets in the bija form, and that slowly fructifies when the gross body comes. So we should not think that if somebody does sinful activity, reaction will come after a very long time. The reaction is already there. It is just not manifest. Just like when Narad Muni went and met this hunter called Mrigari, he thought that I am killing animals and I am eating the flesh of the animals. Right now I don't have any problem. Right now I don't have any problem. But he does not understand that all these reactions are stored and all these reactions will come to you in a whenever it is ready. One by one, generally one by one. So when Narad Muni saw, he saw Mrigari, he also saw Mrigari's stockpile. Like Prabhupada used this word here 3-4 times, stockpile. So what is that stockpile? Is the stockpile of the karma. And when Narad Muni saw that he has such a huge stockpile of karma, how will he get liberated? Generally, this cycle of material existence is very difficult to explain. And it is very complicated. That's why sometimes people become atheistic. They think that there is no controller for this whole cycle of fruitive activities. Some people think that I did everything good in this life. Why I am suffering? Or some people say that I did everything bad in this life, but still I am enjoying. But they don't know that there is a stockpile. You do good activities, it gets stored in a stack. You do activities, you get result of what you have done in many lifetimes back sometimes. But what happens? Not everyone is easily acceptable to this because of various conditions in mental existence. They don't accept this. They reject this idea. They think that I will get reactions of this life, whatever I did in this life. That is very good for them because they want to enjoy unrestrictedly. Even if a normal human being analyzes life, it is very easy for him that you are suffering or enjoying because of your past life. Just like somebody is born in a very rich family and somebody is born in a very poor family. So how they take birth in that particular families is decided by their past life. Why God will be so inconsiderate towards living entities? If this life is all in all should be born in a similar condition. Right? Sometimes some religions, non-Vedic religions, they believe that this life is all in all, that's it. They fail to explain this analogy. They fail to explain this phenomena that why somebody is born in a very rich family, why somebody is born in a very poor family. So this stockpile always exists, and then Prachini Varishad is asking Narada Muni that why it is happening to me, the reaction of past so many lives. Very difficult to explain or very difficult to convince. So because of these mental desires, like every time we are living in this world, any small desire you come, every desire you have has to be fulfilled. Like some people blame God that I have so many desires, but my desires are not getting fulfilled. But they do not understand that Lord is noting down all your desires, and every desire of yours will be fulfilled. He will record every desire, and every desire of yours will be fulfilled either in this life or in the next life or next life, whenever it comes. Or whenever you become deserved to get that reaction. We cannot ask, we can ask a desire, but when it is to be fulfilled, it is by Krishna's mercy. Or by the arrangement of Krishna. Just like sometimes it is said that Dhritarashtra in 100 lifetimes back, he killed some 100 birds of some birds had 100 children. Dhritarashtra killed 100 children of that bird. Because he was very young, he wanted to play around, he just killed 100 birds. And it took 100, after 100 lifetimes, he became Dhritarashtra, and now the 100 children are killed of his. So now somebody may ask, why it took 100 lifetimes? Okay, he killed some parrots, he could have immediately got, or maybe in the next life. So even to get 100 sons, you have to do sufficient punya. So to do that punya of having 100 sons, he took 100 lifetimes to do that punya, and then he is given this reaction. So every action has equal and opposite reaction. It's very true in the cycle of karma. But now what happens is that when a person fully surrenders to Krishna, and he accepts that my path is Krishna conscious path. So now what happens? Will he has to suffer all the reactions that were due on him or not? So now Prabhupada explains here that there is a stockpile of mental desires and karma in a living entity. So in whatever state that desire or the stockpile exists, Krishna starts to eradicating it from there. Like for example, you have mental, your stockpile is in mental platform. It is in BJ platform only. You're supposed to suffer so many lifetimes. And Krishna tells, okay, you need not suffer that in your gross body, but you can suffer that in subtle body. So when you sleep, we actually give up this gross body. It's very different phenomena. When we sleep, we actually give up this gross body, and we have some other different mental bodies we have, through which we see dreams. Like sometimes in the dream, we almost see that we are chased by a tiger. And suddenly when the moment comes that we are very close to tiger, we shout and get up. So, and at the time when you are experiencing the dream, you will feel that it is real. So, all that suffering that was supposed to due on you gets eradicated in dream platform. So, when we sleep, actually a great phenomenon also has in body. That's why it is said that when you get up in the morning, you should first pay obeisances to demigod and supreme personality of Godhead, that you came back to your own body. It is said that every time you sleep, you have this mental concocted bodies on you. Every time you sleep, you have a dream. It's just that when you get up, you don't remember it. The memory is connected and associated with the body, and you just don't remember it. Just like what all we happened in our past lives. Does anybody remember? We don't remember. It all happened to us only. It all happened to you, but you forget it. Because the body changes, the whole phenomenon and the memory system works differently. So similarly, when we sleep, what all happens to us also when we get up, we forget it. So this is the way Krishna arranges a devotee's sufferings, which is supposed to be due to him, so that he suffers in the mental platform and he gets over. And that also generally happens slowly. It does not happen in a fraction of moment. But sometimes all the karmic reaction also can be burnt in a fraction of moment also. Sometimes it is possible. It is not that always it has to take very, very long time. Just like Mrigari, by the mercy of Narad Muni, he suffered all his reactions in the fraction of moment when Narad Muni told him, see what is your future. He just gave him some vision of 5th canto, whatever that, Naraka chapters of hellish planetary system. And then Mrigari could immediately realize or go through that reaction very quickly, and he get liberated. And then Narad Muni said, okay, now you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you get liberated. Like that. So when we become fully Krishna conscious, we see this material world in a very different way. Generally, people have this vision of this material world as if this is a place of fruitive activities. They feel that if I do some karma, I attain some karma, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. They are just cycling around this. But when you fully become Krishna conscious, then you see that this whole world in the view of what Supreme Personality of Godhead sees. Hmm? In what Supreme Personality of Godhead sees this material world to be made up of is of Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. Hmm? All these small karma, reactions of the karma are not visible to a person who is Krishna conscious. Just like when we are now walking around the streets here, we see that there is a road, and one road leads to the other road. The other road leads to other road, like that. But same way, just imagine when you sit in a plane, you slowly go up. When you raise your consciousness, you start seeing that they are very tiny, and after some time, they disappear. You just don't see any roads. You can only make out, okay, this is my city, Hyderabad, or you can see a bigger picture. Similarly, when a person becomes Krishna conscious, your vision becomes equal to what Krishna sees with this vision. Dukhalayam, Ashashvatam, three modes of material nature, living entity, struggling and suffering. So when you get that vision, that is the time when you are fully liberated from these actions and reactions. These small streets. Like you go from one street, you take one turn, again you came back there. Right? So in our lifetime also is like that. We got human form of life. Right? Then we get another demigod form of life. Then we get dog form of life. Then again we come to human form of life. Again we are there only. The other very illusory presentation of fruitive activities. Hear carefully. Another very illusory presentation of fruitive activity is that it makes you feel that you are progressing. The very great illusory presentation of fruitive activity is that it makes you feel that you are progressing. But you actually don't know that you are just cycling in the same place. Like for example, in these modern times, when a person gets a job, he works hard and he gets like, say 50 lakhs in his bank account. He feels that I progressed. Because when I was doing engineering, I did not have any money, and now I have made progress. He strongly feels that. But he doesn't know in his previous life or in his previous to previous life, he was much more richer than this. And he might actually got a poorer person in this life than his previous life. So the fruitive activities gives this very great illusory feeling to the person that we are progressing. Like that. So these all things become visible to us in a similar way, the way Krishna sees. Because Krishna's vision is on absolute platform. And not every living entity can easily approach that. Just like a dark planet cannot approach the moon very easily. This Rahu planet is actually orbiting around moon. In a similar way, the moon orbits around Earth. And in a similar way, the sun orbits around Earth. But this dark planet does not have a good existence. It is not visible. On an average times, you might, if we have the vision to see Rahu, you might be seeing Rahu quite often here and there. It rotates around in the sky. But it being dark planet, it doesn't become visible to us, neither to moon or to anybody else. But sometimes, by the arrangement of the Lord, this dark planet becomes visible as much as the existence of moon. So generally these eclipses happen by the arrangement of four planets. I mean, because we are in Earth, we are talking about four planets: Earth, Rahu, Moon and Sun. So whenever eclipse happen, the arrangement is like that. The Earth is in the center, and then there is Rahu, then the next planet is Moon, and then the next planet is Sun. So on a full moon day, whenever full moon happens, it means that moon and sun are directly opposite to each other with Earth in the center. Because when moon completely faces sun, moon can completely reflect the sunlight on the Earth. That's why it is called full moon. So during this time, when Rahu also comes in between Earth and moon, then the sunlights entering the earth through the reflection of moon are shadowed up by the Rahu. But people mostly think that it is a shadow of earth that falls on the moon, because of which the eclipses happen. But they forget to understand that the shadow of earth might have fallen on moon many, many times. In fact, almost every Purnima day, it is possible that the shadow of earth falls on the moon. But the shadow of earth is not as sufficient to completely cover the moon's light. We feel that moon is very much brightened up. But only when earth along with the Rahu tries to cover the moon, that is the time we feel that actually there is a shadow that is getting created. So now sometimes these modern people do not accept the existence of Rahu, because for a simple reason it is not visible. It is an invisible planet. Every planet generally reflects the sunlight. Like the moon reflects the sunlight, Mars reflects the sunlight, becomes visible. But this planet Rahu does not reflect any sunlight. There is a reason why it is not visible, and we don't understand its clear existence. Similarly, on a Amavasya day, when the sun and moon are in 0-degree difference, actually on every Amavasya day, it is possible that the moon shadow falls on the earth. But it is not so visible because moon does not have that full capacity to shadow the existence of sun. So when moon along with the Rahu comes in a similar line, it almost appears that it is only moon. But because we cannot see this invisible planet called Rahu also shadows sun. And then we feel that, okay, moon has shadowed the sun. Like that. So it is very difficult phenomena. Sometimes it shadows only little bit. There is a partial eclipse. Sometimes Rahu shadows moons only partially little bit. And then sometimes it is full. Like that. So this moon gets a chance to approach, the Rahu gets a chance to approach moon or sun on very occasionally. Occasionally it happens like that. So similarly, occasionally a living entity's karma can be burnt all at once, and then he becomes fully Krishna conscious. So the Rahu's vision becomes equal to the vision of moon, and the way moon is being experienced by others in this planet, similarly Rahu also becomes experienced. So similarly, Krishna consciousness works like that. There is a natural way of Krishna consciousness. You become a sadhaka, you chant Hare Krishna, and slowly your karma gets eradicated. But there are other possibilities also in Krishna consciousness, that you become very quickly purified and then go back to home, back to Godhead. So now, as a practitioners, we can always wish, we can always pray to God that let my all karma get burnt in this life only. Because whenever we create desires, that desire remains in the subtle object. Whatever sense gratification we think in our mind, it remains in our mind. And it can manifest at the right time. So when we become Krishna conscious living entities, we pray to Krishna that please remove all my karma. Let me not have any desires in mental state also. And then when we become fully Krishna conscious, slowly all our karmas get eradicated, then we become fully liberated. Just like Prachini Barishad is now getting liberated by instructions of Narad Muni. See, Prachini Barishad also, it took great amount of effort for Narad Muni to preach him. And then he is actually understanding that fruitive activities are different and Krishna consciousness is different. Sometimes people easily equate fruitive activities to Krishna consciousness or pious activities to Krishna consciousness. But it is not actually so. Fruitive activities have temporary results, whereas Krishna conscious activities have impact on getting a person liberated. So these two are different things, and that's what Prachini Barishad is telling. What all my teachers have previously explained to me about fruitive activities and what you are explaining to me about Krishna consciousness is different. Hmm? And I accept your explanation as superior to fruitive activities, my dear Narad Muni. And that time, probably Narad Muni would have felt happy that whatever I have preached to him, whatever I have explained to him, has gone into his brain a little bit. Hmm? And then Narad Muni also explained him, now sit and do austerities. Hmm? Why tapasya is emphasized to devotees? Because when we all voluntarily accept some inconveniences in life, then Krishna also becomes like, just leave him. Hmm? Even in the normal course of court, when a court gives punishment to the accused, if the accused person tries to defend himself through various laws, even if he has committed crime, and then finally it is proved that he is criminal, then the court punishes him very heavily. Hmm? But if a criminal accepts that, okay, I have done something wrong, and being apologetic, and says that I will not continue this in future, please forgive me. Hmm? And the court also becomes little considerate. Okay, he's accepting his mistake. Okay, instead of giving lifetime imprisonment, give him only 10 years. Hmm? So similarly, that should be the mood of devotee. That I accept whatever tapasya is there in this life. Oh my Lord, as as a my own karma, as my own karma, and as a matter of forgiveness from the Krishna for whatever I have done. The Lord also says, okay, this one last lifetime, and then you come back to me, back to Godhead. So with this understanding, if we deal with this karma, then definitely we'll get liberated. But whereas if we try to meddle our karma, saying that I'll do something else other than Krishna consciousness, I'll do something else other than Krishna consciousness, then we still get in that cycle and very, very difficult to come out. So here the conclusion is that the fruitive activities are very, very enticing. Never get into that understanding that fruitive activities will give us happiness. Just like I was telling, one very illusory attraction of fruitive activity is that it makes us feel that we are progressing. The other illusory impact that fruitive activity gives is that you are enjoying. So because of these two hooks, the living entity is very badly stuck. So one leg, just like a person walks on two legs. If a person is caught in two legs, he just cannot do anything. The two hooks is that you are progressing and you are enjoying. You are progressing, you are enjoying. So fruitive activity keeps us revolving around this. That's why a person who is engaged in fruitive activities is called donkey by scriptures. Why donkey? Because at the end of the day, when donkey takes the loads of clothes from his master's house to the river bed, and then from the river bed to the master's house, he does like 4 or 5 times. And at the end of the day, when the master gives him little grass, the donkey very strongly feels, see how hard work I have done. How hard I have worked and I have got grass to eat. But he doesn't understand, if he leaves that master, he goes out on a street, very easily he can find the same grass, in fact better grass than that, without working hard. So similarly, the living entity feels that because I work hard, I am able to eat. Because I work hard, I am able to enjoy so much things in material life. But actually saying this, all enjoyment is anyways averagely available. Like for example, somebody who earns say 15,000 in a month, how much does he eat? He eats a plate of rice, dal, sabji, chapati. Even if somebody is a crorepati, like multi-billionaire, how much does he eat? Almost same. Does not, like one of our previous Andhra Pradesh, United Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister was asked that there is so much allegation on you that you have looted so much money. He said that I eat only 2 idlis in the morning. What will I do with so much money? So we don't understand this simple concept. We become donkeys of fruitive activities. And then we feel that we are progressing, we are enjoying. We are progressing, we are enjoying. If you see, the entire Western world is thinking like that. We are progressing, we are enjoying. We are progressing, we are enjoying. Hmm? But they don't understand that the fruitive activities have caught you in the net. And you all are tiny, tiny, tiny Prachini Barishats. Right? So Bhagavatam helps us to come out of this, and we should take this opportunity and feel grateful that our vision has broadened in life and we can understand where we are stuck in this material world. So when we understand where we are stuck in this material world, when we understand what is our destination, that is Golok Vrindavan, Vaikuntha planets, then we start our journey towards that. So this journey is of Krishna conscious journey. So this is what is understanding given to us by Bhagavatam. We should be grateful to all the acharyas who have explained us very nicely. Some things which Prabhupada spoke, this purport with modern scientists may not be ready to accept, is that traversing to moon is not as what you all feel. There is always controversy. We think that we are going to moon planet, but Prabhupada writes that they are actually not going to moon planet. They are going to a planet called Rahu. Because according to the scriptures, moon is not an approachable planet. It's not so easy that, okay, you take a ticket and go, okay. Like we take a ticket, sit in the train, we reach Delhi or something. It's not like that. You go to moon planet, it becomes so easy. No. You need to have sufficient karma and punya to go to higher planets. So now sometimes modern scientists claim that 1969 we went to moon. 1971 we went to moon. 1975 we went to moon. And then 2005 we went to moon. You ask, why was there such a long gap in one moon expedition to another moon expedition? They have no explanation. Now, after so very late 2019, 2020, some people say that, okay, again a machine went to the moon. The point is, in 1969, if a man can go to moon, in 2020, why man cannot go to moon? What advancement have you made? If you ask, no, that time something was there, now we are again making man will go to the moon again. What was there at that time? Then what? You cheated us or what? You ask, then they say, no, there is a theory, then there is a counter theory against it. There is a heated discussion. I asked a very simple question. In 1969 or somewhere, there was first moon landing. Who landed on the moon first? Some name comes up. But when he is landing on the moon, there is a camera and there is a video recording. That means who went to the moon first? The video man. Who went? The person who was recorded as landing first or the cameraman? We don't know. You ask them, in 1969, the moon expedition, the travel from here to moon was 8 days. And you came back in 7 days. So almost like 15, 16 days you went to moon and came back. Now, for a machine to go from here to moon, it's taking 45 days. Why is it so, my dear? That time you went in 8 days with human beings. 8 days you went and 8 days you came back. 16, 17 days the whole expedition completed. And now even just to send machine you fail sometimes. After 40 days of journey you say that I failed. And again you say 45 days of journey, okay, we just landed a small machine in the moon. 45 days. Why it takes 45 days? Why it takes 45 days? Nobody explains. You ask the moon landing team what you ate on those 8 days going and 8 days coming. Can you explain? They have no answer. Right? So people sometimes use very less intelligent people to fool around. And they make us feel it may look very, very scientific. That all their explanation. But if you ask them basic questions, they will be able to fail to explain you why, when things, what happened. So it is best for us not to get into all these controversial discussions. Because again there will be arguments, counter arguments. Nobody can prove what has happened in such a long distant place. Like that. So anyways, that was one just aspect where Prabhupada is trying to explain that we may not actually landed on moon, but you might have landed on Rahu, some other planet. Anyways, that is just one aspect. We as Krishna conscious devotees need not take it very seriously, because anyways we are not interested in earth planet, nor moon planet, or Mars, Jupiter, any planet. We are only interested in one planet, that is Vaikunta. Hmm. So that should be our goal: undisturbed, undistracted. Thank you all very much. If anybody has any questions or any comments, they can please ask. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Okay. Okay. So what happens is, generally we try to experience this world. We try to experience it as per what vision we have. Hmm? Like when we see sun and moon, they almost look like same size in the night. But do the sun and moon are of same size? No. Hmm? So similarly, initially the scientists were telling that sun is revolving around Earth, and after some time their vision changed, and they felt that Earth is rotating around sun. Hmm? And there are other theories which still say that Earth and sun both are revolving. It is a relative experience that we get. They are also not sure what exactly is happening. Hmm. But scriptures say that in the Brahmanda, the central pivotal point of all planets' existence is North Pole, or we call it as Dhruvatara. All the planetary motions happen keeping that as center. Hmm. Now, keeping Dhruvatara as center, definitely Earth is not revolving as per that. Earth is revolving in its own axis, but no, sorry, Earth is not revolving. The whole Bhumandala is revolving because it is Brahmanda. And now within that Brahmanda, sun is rotating at a very high speed actually. Hmm? If you see, the Sanskrit verses also describe that how in 1/12th of a second, how much sun travels. There is a verse which describes, I don't remember, I have read. In 1/12th of the second, how much sun travels is also mentioned. So definitely sun is revolving. Hmm? And definitely we see that now, because this is which is month, June month, right? This is the time when you will see that the sun is in southern hemisphere. Hmm? It moves towards southern portion, and during after some time you will see that sun comes in this time. Like we have sunlight coming up till here. The sun moves in a different scope. Similarly, when you see that there is winter, the sun light is visible almost at that time. Like that, the sun moves even while rotating. Sun moves up and down. So all this is very nicely explained in fifth canto. Hmm? And moon also, for your understanding, also revolves almost in a similar way. The way sun rotates up and down, like that. Hmm? So already generally we have 360 days in a month, in a year. Huh? This is because the planetary motions across the sun happens in 360 days, 1 degree each day. That's why it's become 360 days. But sun takes 366 days. Modern people accept 365.28 days. But it is actually 366 days. The sun moves up and down and comes back to the same level where it moves. The moon actually takes 354 days in moving up and down. It's north to south while rotating. So all these calculations are mentioned in fifth canto. If you carefully read, you'll understand. And it is more scientific and acceptable to an open brain. But if you are crippled with a modern understanding that this is right, then you will try to see faults in everything, even in what they have explained to you. Hmm? Like that. But actually, Earth is in the center, almost in the center, and then sun rotates around Earth. Okay, thank you. Any questions further? Okay, thank you all very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.